Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 2 of the American League Division Series, where the Astros win 4-2 over the Seattle Mariners and take a 2-0 stranglehold of the American League Division Series. Alright, yesterday there was a ton of scoring to go over, and today there was not a whole heck of a lot. The Astros get the first lead of the game, second inning, Kyle Tucker. If no one got me, Kyle Tucker got me. Solo home run, and the Astros take a 1-0 lead. And this really felt like a game where whoever gets the first lead is going to win. And it felt like that until the fourth inning. I'll talk about them in depth in a minute, but Mariners score a pair. They had quite a few base runners in this inning. The first run comes on this disaster of a play that, if it would have just been the same thing but different, would have been nothing. But the way this happened was a nightmare. Framber Valdez tries to field this Carlos Santana little grounder, fields it, tries to go home with it, does a 360, way misses Martin Maldonado, but Martin Maldonado fields it off the back wall, throws it to Altuve, who gets a rundown with Carlos Santana. They keep going back and forth with him and Yuli, holding the runner at third, and they get a force with that rundown. If this was a little tapper to Framber that he just throws it first, no one cares, because we would have all happily traded him out for a run there. But it kind of was this nightmare disaster thing. And then after that, a RBI single by Dylan Moore, and the Mariners take the 2-1 lead. And the Astros offense felt dead in the water, and you're just kind of full of dread because it's happening again. But if it's happening again, that means what I think it means. And it meant exactly what we thought it meant, which is Jeremy Pena, with a little base hit, gets aboard. That's all he has to do, because then he brings up the man, the myth, the legend, Yordan Alvarez, another one, torched, this time to left field, to give the Astros a lead late in the game. Yordan Alvarez, ladies and gentlemen. I have no words. And in the 8th inning, Alex Bregman, little RBI base hit, pick up another run for some insurance for the Houston Astros. Oh, and they somehow, again, this one felt a lot more possible, but in the same way, improbably, win Game 2 to take a 2-0 series lead. Alright, let's get into it. So to go over the offense, Jeremy Pena with another big day, 2 hits, walk, ended up scoring the tying run from the Yordan home run, so that was big. Yordan Alvarez, again, massive 2-run shot. Yordan Alvarez, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely unbelievable. Kyle Tucker would have a solo home run, but I was going to go Bregman first. He had an RBI base hit, some more insurance, which completely changes the dynamic. I know that base hit technically didn't matter in the sense of that run did not affect anything, but pitching with a 2-run lead in the 9th is just so dramatically different than a 1-run lead. So that did help, and I think you can easily say that. But the offense was lackluster. 6 hard hit balls, all day. Drew a couple of walks. But one of them comes with the asterisk of, yes, Yordan did draw that walk because he is horrifying, but he didn't draw it. It was an intentional walk, so that was more so the other team said, we do not want to bother with this. It was not plate discipline. That is not a knock or anything negative against Yordan Alvarez. That's just what that was. And the pitching with Framber, it was not as bad as Verlander's game, but it was still not good for Framber Valdez. 5 2/3, pair of runs, which doesn't sound bad, but 7 hard hit balls, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. The strangest thing about Framber today was he looked very, very nervous for a person who has pitched in the postseason before to good results, sometimes great results in the postseason. And so why he felt nervous, I have no idea. Hector Neris would come in, get 1 out in relief to pick up for Framber Valdez in that inning where the bases would get loaded. And Hector Neris, in his first postseason appearance in, a 13-year career, to pick up the win, to get a crucial out with the bases juiced, in what could have been, with 1 bad pitch, blowing the game wide open. I know it was only 1 out and 4 pitches, but Hector Neris played a good, important part in this game. Brian Abreu would only pitch for 2/3 of an inning, and I have no idea why. He would pick up a strikeout, and then we would relieve him after he only allowed 1 walk. I don't know, man. The strikeout would have made me go, yeah, let's keep rolling with him. But Dusty pulled the plug on him. We bring in Rafael Montero, who would give up a pair of walks in his inning of work, but only 1 hard hit ball in an inning and a third. Would pick up a strikeout, but the important thing of not allowing runs, which is pretty important, And Ryan Pressly would have a sketched out ninth inning where he would allow a hit, a walk, but also pick up a strikeout, get out of one situation with a double play. And the Astros, in another stressful, tense game that raises blood pressure, win 4-2, again, taking the 2-0 stranglehold on the series. So my thoughts for this game: how do you interpret the sport of baseball? That's a genuine question. How do you interpret the sport of baseball? And I'm asking any individual person watching this, not the collective, but you individually. How do you watch it? Because you can look at this very easily and say the Astros have not particularly played a great game yet of the first two. They got walked all over for the first little bit yesterday, and then had their offense make an improbable comeback where the Mariners pitching staff and specifically managerial duties imploded on themselves. And then today, the offense was dead for a very long while and managed to cash in at the very end. The offense has not looked inspiring to this point. I know we scored 8 runs yesterday, but even still, it's looked sketchy. The pitching staff has looked very sketchy. Framber Valdez allowed a lot of base runners today, a lot of hard contact. Bullpen looked fine in some instances and not in the others. I mean, Neris looked a little bit wild, so did Pressly. We look rough. And I don't think you can really dispute that. We look somewhat gruff around the edges. Now, if this was June or July, I'm probably complaining about these wins. I really am. Because it's not sustainable to win games like this. But we're not in June or July, and that is the big, important part of it all. We're not in June, we're not in July. We are in the month of October, we are in the postseason. You don't have to play sustainable baseball right now, because you don't have to sustain it for another 130 games, another 100 games, another 80 games, another 50 games. You have to sustain it, because of where you are now, 9 more times, and you've done it. These don't have to be pretty right now. I don't care if they're pretty, perfect wins where you go, wow, immaculate. You played perfectly. Or if they're games like this that make you kind of want to pull a little bit of your hair out. They are winning. You only have to do it 11 times in this time period for the Astros, and they've done it twice. You're nearly 20% of the way done with what you have to do before you do the thing that we all are begging for you to do. And so, in normal times, during the regular season, I wouldn't be in love with wins like this. Times change. You're in the playoff portion of the season. And so, if you want to say these are unsustainable, that's fine, they are. I am going to choose to look at it as we're finding ways to win, and we're battling back. Those are the buzzwords I'm going to use. One thing that I will say is very funny is a lot of people that are complaining about these games are the same ones that complain about me using advanced analytics and WOBA numbers, because those are weird numbers and you need to use the eye test and get off my lawn, you darned kids. They're the same ones that are complaining about these games because they're not winning the right way. And all I would respond to that is I don't really care if they're winning. And we are right now. So the Astros have an off day tomorrow. Thanks, MLB, for your piss-poor scheduling. We play again Saturday at 4:07 Eastern, 3:07 Central. I'll be here afterwards to talk about the game, but I'll also be here during the game live streaming. I'll go live about 10 minutes beforehand, so about 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central. We're going to send Lance McCullers Jr. to the mound in his return to postseason baseball after dazzling in the ALDS last year against the White Sox. And the Mariners send George Kirby to the mound. So hopefully the Astros can just wrap it up easily and take care of business, because it's very possible that Saturday night we are celebrating the 6th consecutive trip to the American League Championship Series for the Astros, which would be a record. So I'll be here afterwards, I'll be here during, and I'll be here later tonight with a Rangers video. But that's all I have to say for right now, so thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Stros.